It's Bev.
And it's Marq.
And we are
The Redmonds.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the Redmonds. And guess what?
Meet the Redmonds is our podcast journey about marriage, second chances, and unyielding love. In season 2, my husband Marq and I share laughs, lessons, and life with some great friends that we meet along the way. We promise to keep the conversation relevant, churchy, and old school. It's a mix we call the Redmond Way. Meet the Redmonds streams every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. across all time zones on Facebook, YouTube, and OCPITV.com. We'll meet up with you soon.
Hey, everybody, it's Bev.
And it's Marq.
And we are
The Redmonds.
Welcome to the gratitude edition of Meet the Redmonds. It's the holiday season. No time better to talk about being grateful than right now.
Absolutely. If you can look in our background, you see our poinsettias on top of our refrigerator.
We add a little ambiance.
Right. And we just really want to share with you, our viewers, on why you should have an attitude of gratitude.
Yes.
Because just like the Redmonds, I'm sure you have so many things to be grateful for.
Yes.
And we're going to run down a list of some things we're grateful for.
A little bit
in this
before
episode.
that, though, let's talk about what the word grateful means.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think of being grateful, I'm appreciative. I am humbled about the blessings that I have. And when I say attitude of gratitude, it's something that I'm reflecting on constantly. Mm-hmm. What about you?
And to piggyback off of what you said, a lot of people think that the holidays is the only time where you can show gratitude
Not at
for
all.
your loved one, or gratitude for some of the blessings that God has bestowed upon you. You can show your gratitude all year around.
Yes,
you can show your gratitude every day.
Mm-hmm. You can. I think it requires a lot of conscious effort because there's so many things that, especially in marriage, that you can get really self-centered on. I'm doing it all, or I'm putting in the maximum effort. But if you step back and you start to list the positives of your mate, you can find out that that list of what they bring to you is a lot longer than you might think. And where would you be if you didn't have that person?
Yeah. You should be grateful just waking up in the morning.
Like
God
health,
is giving you God is giving you another day.
Mm-hmm. If you remember being in church, at least black church, the activity of our limbs, yes.
Clothes in our right mind.
Clothed in our right mind, yes.
I'm really grateful this particular year, this past month. My oldest sister in North Carolina, was dealing with some health challenges, and she's still going through some bouts of illness. But we're sending prayers to her.
Yes.
But she seems to be on the mend, and it has kind of galvanized me and my sisters together to make sure that, hey, somebody is down there with my sister.
Staying connected.
Right. So even in the midst of illness, it has brought about a galvanizing feeling for me and my siblings. What about you?
What I've learned from that is not to take anything for granted. What you feel strongly about yesterday, you may not feel strongly about in the future. So don't make permanent decisions permanent decisions off of temporary feelings, because you never know when you're going to go through something or when you're going to need assistance.
And if you look at our episode, you'll see a picture of the Redmonds, and you'll see me with hair, and my mom and dad, and my three sisters, and my oldest sister is the light-skinned one. Well, we're all light-skinned, but
What?
I guess
They all have the trait of the green eyes.
that's right.
So
Green
it's a
eyes.
dominant trait, both mom and dad.
Nah, Dad.
Dad? No dad?
Dad had the eyes.
Dad had the eyes? No mom?
No,
I
Mom.
thought she did too.
I guess they both did, but it's an amalgamation. I've used that word several times this season. It's an amalgamation of genes.
I have an appreciation for vocabulary. Amalgamation. Yes.
Okay. But I'm just grateful for my mother and father, even
The
though
memories.
the memories, even though they're no longer with us on the earthly plane. Spiritually, I think about them all the time. Even now, as I am in my mid-50s, I think about some of the lessons that my father tried to teach me when I was younger, and me being a hard-headed young man didn't listen. But now I look back at fondness of those lessons and those chewing outs and all of those things, even the whoopings.
Instructions. The instructions. You probably have more directions than whoopings. No?
What? Did I have more directions than whippings?
Instructions.
And why
He's
you call
telling you what to do.
what? While he was whipping me?
No.
No.
Okay. I'll let you have your story.
Well, a little bit of both. I would say, now my father didn't do a lot of instruction. He told me what to do, and if I didn't do it, then that led to the whippings. But I know why.
And wouldn't you give, I think somebody said your eye teeth, I don't even know what body part that is. Wouldn't you give anything to be able to hear those instructions? Right?
Man, I would give anything to hear my father talk to me for 5 minutes. There were so many things I would ask him. My mother too. My mother was more of the instruction.
The day-to-day
Right.
instructions.
The Bible studies in the basement on Tuesday night, and walking to Sunday school with my father, and walking back from church with my father. Just all those things that I really took for granted, and I just wish I could have them back now. Little snippets and moments all around where you can get a chance to just be grateful and thank God for some of the things that He has placed in your life.
You have a birthday coming up.
I'm grateful for that too.
Grateful to be
53, not 8, but 53.
that big age, 53.
53.
Finally caught up to me.
Beverly is 3 months older than me, so don't listen to anything she's saying.
Listen
Really,
to everything. I am the older woman.
I'm grateful that this show is only 30 minutes, so we won't have to listen to this for an extended period of time. You're grateful for your parents. Your parents?
My parents are 81 and soon to be 77. My mom 77, my dad 81. They've been married well over 50 years, and just grateful to have them in good health. Pray for my dad. He has a little bit of things that he's facing, but I am so excited to have them. I have a little niece. She will turn 2 in this holiday season. I'm grateful that she gets to know her grandparents. I did not have that opportunity. When I came along, my grandparents, at least my paternal grandparents, they were heading off the scene. So I didn't know my dad's mom. And then when I was a teenager, we lost my grandfather. So, just grateful that they have the opportunity to have their formative years. My nieces, my nephew, with their grandparents.
Absolutely. We're grateful for our kids.
Noelle, Kelsey.
And the picture that you're seeing is our first Christmas together as a family.
We were a family, not a bio family, but certainly a family put together by love and second chances. That's what we always say. Yep.
That's what our book is about, Revelations of a Real Man. And finally, I Do Again. They're about second chances, unyielding love, first marriages. So it's all about being, grateful for those special people in your life. So we're grateful for our kids. They are matriculating.
Oh my goodness. Who's the oldest now?
Kelsey.
25.
And Noelle is 23. And it seems like yesterday I was changing both diapers. But they're grown people now, and just, I thought you were cutting me off because I used the word matriculate.
No, I appreciate vocabulary.
But as they're matriculating into adulthood and finding their way, we couldn't be more prouder than we are now.
As we listen to, especially Kelsey, when we get on the phone, because we're in Seattle, they're in Chicago, we will see them soon for the holidays, but he sounds so much like you.
His daddy is a cold man.
He's getting that bass in the voice.
That's right.
And he's making those young man decisions and coming through life and planning out his things. He's also meticulous like you. So it's just refreshing. It's good to see proud. When I met them, Noelle was 8th grade, Kelsey a little bit in the high school, maybe sophomore. So, and here we are almost 10 years later. One year of dating, 8 years of marriage. So Thanksgiving, the holidays is our season between your birthday and our anniversary, November 21st.
Right.
This is our time.
So, what else about being grateful? Biblically, what does the Bible say about being grateful?
In all things that we should give thanks, because it's the will of God concerning us. We should be thankful. And sometimes that's a synonym.
Where's that Bible? Is that a Bible verse or?
Yes, and everything give thanks. Yes. So
where is it located? You don't know where the verse is?
I don't.
This is a shock, people.
No, it should not be a shock. So my memory's good on recall of that, but exact verses, that's why God made a concordance.
But we will find the verse and we will put it down and we will get the edited version of the verse so you can see it. But you said in all things give thanks.
Give thanks.
Okay.
Yes, in everything we should give thanks. That's God's will for us, and we try to walk in that. God also, in his word, we talk a lot about grace. Our salvation comes out of an act of grace and mercy with Christ coming. We do this in the Advent season, celebrating his birth, but then also knowing that he died for us, and that sacrifice, that's what his arrival was all about, preparing the way for us to be forgiven.
Yeah, but even in this season, things just feel a little different. I know you should be grateful at all times throughout the year, but it's something about the holiday season that makes you want to do more. Remember, I got the car washed, and I was going to take some clothes to Goodwill to donate, which we're always doing.
We tried, yes.
And I said, wait a minute, you know what?
We need to again. Yes.
I'm not going to take these clothes to Goodwill. I know there are some men at the car wash that could use these clothes firsthand.
Yes.
So when I took our truck to get washed, I took the clothes with me from Goodwill and just said, here, this stuff is gently used. I even had a couple of things that were brand new that I hadn't even worn because
grateful for the stuff we have. Our closets are brimming. I don't know, when you grew up, did you have a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, I was the only boy, so all the stuff I had was mine. My sisters had to share stuff. I didn't have to share anything.
I was the oldest, so usually I got new things. I didn't have to do a lot of that, but I do remember going thrifting when thrifting wasn't cool.
Right. And people turn up their nose. Goodwill, yeah, Goodwill.
Yes.
Now people go to Goodwill and find unique antique items.
They do whole YouTube shows on how to go thrifting, Salvation Army, consignment shopping, all of that. But back in the day, it was just called lifing. That's how we got our things. But now, thank the Lord, if I want to go, I can go. But I can also go out and swipe and buy whatever I want.
Yeah, but like I was saying, can I continue with my story?
Please proceed.
All right, thank you.
I'm grateful for your words.
So I took the clothes to the car wash, and I was able to give it to the men firsthand, and they were
They were great.
They were grateful. I mean, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was like, man, here, you can take this. I can't wear it. Have it. And I just gave them the bag and let them just peruse through the bag.
And part of being grateful is not for the bragging points. You know you made a difference, but it's not so you can go around and say, look what I did. It's the smile on their faces.
Man, I genuinely felt good about that.
That's another thing, that gratitude produces a good feeling. I bet we can look and see exactly what happens in the body when one is grateful, when one smiles, when one is happy, all of those things. But you do feel good and like you're living on purpose the way God would want you to.
They still took my tip for washing the car. He was like, no,
Well, come on, player.
thank you for the clothes, but thank you for the tip too. So
That you cannot put clothes in a cash register.
right, you're absolutely right. We got a good group of friends here in Seattle and back home that we're grateful for. I guess we get a chance to see them in the next couple of days when we head back home. But just being grateful for good friends over the years, that's always a good thing. You can see my friends on the screen. You can see Beverly's sorors.
Yes.
And it's just good.
We're blessed to have family, but to know that we have extended family, whether we're here in Seattle, my gosh, everywhere that we've gone, we've been able to add new friendships. Maybe not a bunch, but really life-sustaining friendships. A lot of our friends are in our churches.
Yeah.
Whether we're back home at Greater Mount Pleasant in Chicago or whether we're here at Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church.
Right. Made a lot of good friends wherever we go. And, I would rather make good friends in church. At least I think they have a good moral compass.
We know that they do.
I don't know about all that, but
We know they have a good moral.
they do.
They are awesome people, and grateful that they're in our lives. Grateful to have a church home. When we arrived here in Seattle, we weren't sure where we would be worshiping, but Tabernacle came along and they have filled our bucket.
And just being grateful for our jobs, professions too.
We work hard.
Very hard.
Extremely. However, grateful to have it. If you're driving down the street in Chicago, if you are driving down the street in Seattle, you can see the stark difference every day. There are people who would trade places with us in a heartbeat. And we are not homeless. We can help. God has given provision so that we can help and we can assist. But we have 2 homes to go to.
And God has continually blessed us throughout our marriage. I tell people all the time, ever since I got with this woman, I have been batting 1,000. And I wouldn't change it for anything in the world.
Can you bat 2,000?
No.
I was going to add, I've been batting 1,000 as well.
Well, just batting 1,000, just everything that we seem to touch and lay our hands on just turns into a blessing. From professions to our books, to our podcasts, to our families, to our children. And I really think the reason why we have a reason to be grateful is because all of this is not of our doing. And this is just all God. All God all the time. And I think, He's rewarding us for our diligent labor. We grew up in the church. We worked hard in the church.
I don't even think it's us. I think we're living off the legacy and the faithfulness of our parents and our grandparents. And hopefully our children will live off the legacy of blessings that we have laid. So I'm grateful that we have parents who knew God and know God. We'll talk about gratitude in marriage.
Oh yeah, gratitude in marriage. You have to be you have to do more than just give lip service. It's easy for me to turn around and say I love you, but I show my gratitude by trying to do everything I can to make my wife's life easier. And sometimes I can overdo it, sometimes and get a little bit.
Habitual line crosser.
I'm a habitual line crosser, but
it's all out of love. If there's anything I know about Marquel Redmond, Marq, it is that everything that he does for me is motivated out of love. If there's anybody on the planet that I know is in my corner outside of my parents, it's this guy.
getting a little emotional here.
Verklempt.
But yeah, I just try to make my wife's life a lot easier. And for a while, she held it down for both of us. So the least I could do, get up and make breakfast, make sure the house is clean, the gas is filled up in the truck.
That's why I got married, so I don't have to pump gas anymore.
that you got a good lunch to take with you. So all of those things are just ways to show gratitude to your spouse. You just can't say I love you and just leave it there. You got to go a little deeper than that.
True. And gratitude also means giving grace to your spouse. We took a trip. Our Portland episode, we visited Portland. It's a 3-hour drive from here. Marq realized that I was under some stress. We hadn't been away, and he decided to plan out a trip for us. And I will say, of the planning, the couple, Marq, he's super producer.
That's right.
Of our lives. Yes.
But now you show gratitude to me. One, you keep me safe and kind of police my life so I won't say or do something reckless.
Marq is a super producer, but I keep us safe. I may give you more advice than you want.
Yes. But this past Thanksgiving and this past anniversary, you really went above and beyond with the meals that we prepared. And that was just a way I think that you showed gratitude to me and to us. Just the food that you prepared. And you'll see some of that. As a matter of fact, you'll see it now. I mean, what was it? The quiche?
We did quiche. So Thanksgiving, we were here in Seattle. We weren't traveling. We both traveled for Christmas, but not traveling for Thanksgiving. So we had to decide what are we going to do. We also had been to, in the 2 other Thanksgivings that we spent here, we were guests at someone's home.
Right.
And this time we had a chance to do Thanksgiving the Redmond Way. So when we get up, it's the 2 of us. We're going to tackle the cooking. Marq, you took the meat. I took the sides. But we had to eat breakfast. So one of the things that I really wanted to do, and ladies, I don't know if you're out there and you use Pinterest, but I had gone through Pinterest and what do I want to do for my husband? And I know the way to Marq's heart
is this gut right here.
Is through his plate.
Yes.
So, quiche. Well, what are we going to have for breakfast? Something that can hold us. What about quiche? No problem. We had all the things here in the house. After we had done our grocery shopping, whipped that up for breakfast. Threw some fruit on the side.
Yep, it was off the chain. But you'll see the meals that we prepared as we go toward the end of the episode, because we've been talking about gratitude and being, grateful, that we are almost out of time.
Are we out of time?
Yeah.
Really? Have we been talking that long?
Yeah, we have. So we want our viewers to make sure you get a chance to see the food that we had. But again, don't forget to check out our website, redmondprojects.com, and our 2 award-winning books. Finally, I Do Again, and Revelations of a Real Man or Woman. Don't forget to check us out every week on YouTube at Meet the Redmonds, and Facebook at Meet the Redmonds, and ocpitv.com. Every Sunday at 5:30, no matter what time zone you're in. Eastern,
Mountain,
Western,
Mountain,
Pacific.
Mountain,
There's only 4 time zones.
and Mountain's one,
Central,
and Mountain's one.
Eastern, Pacific, Mountain, Central. Those 4 time zones at 5:30, you
I
can
always
catch us.
forget Mountain, so here I am representing Mountain.
Catch us next week. We'll have some more exciting episodes. We'll be back in Chicago, so we'll do some more taping and
We're
things of
going
that
to
nature.
Indiana, we'll be down in Indianapolis.
Christmas, all
Yep.
that good stuff. But we're going to get out of here, and with our catchphrase, it's not her way,
It's not his way.
it's the Redmond way.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Peace.
Be grateful, be kind. Bye.
Welcome to Thanksgiving. This is how it started in the Redmond household, thinking about breakfast. We were up probably between 4 and 5 a.m. It's a big cooking day, but a long day to go without eating. So my husband asked for some quiche. No problem. Grabbed a deep dish pie crust that we had on hand, some eggs, our favorite ground sausage, browned it up with some peppers, spinach, a little bit of onion, doesn't like too much, some mushrooms, and voila, go into the oven for about 40 minutes on 375, and on the other side, golden brown, delicious, delicious quiche. Attitude of gratitude, brunch favorite.
Hey, this is Marq from Meet the Redmonds, and I just had to come on and show people that Beverly's husband can cook too. Look at this roasted Cornish hen. You see how I got just a tint of browning on it? It looks spectacular, and it will taste even better. I'm out.
Hey fam, we are continuing our attitude of gratitude. The mac and cheese is out of the oven. Didn't have elbows at the store, so we made a quick sub and put in rigatoni. It turned out pretty well. Continuing that attitude of gratitude, if you know my husband, his favorite love language is feed me. Peace. Adding a vegetable for my husband, a little sauteed zucchini, keep it simple, a little water in your pan, your favorite butter, a little pepper, let that steam on up. It is good. And they're finally done. The 2 sides that we're having for this Thanksgiving, it's just me and my husband, so we kept it simple. That mac and cheese with the subbed out rigatoni and that sauteed zucchini. It's looking really, really nice. Attitude of gratitude, wanting to give my husband an anniversary and Thanksgiving to remember. Hey, everybody, it is the cake, the dessert that started all of my Thanksgiving anniversary meal planning. It is an apple cider caramel spice cake recipe by Cartier Brown, Delicious Miss Brown on the Food Network. She's one of my husband's favorites, so we had to try this, had to do this for him. First scratch cake in years. So glad that I did it. It's a yum, a do, a must try. If you want him to marry you or marry you again, make sure he's the right one, because when you do this, you've sealed the deal. You all have a great Thanksgiving. Be kind. It costs nothing, especially in our relationships with each other. Be kind. Outdo each other being kind. Attitude of gratitude.